UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Journey program on UBC TV is brought to you by Plascon, Color Your World.
My name is Indi Naziwa. I'm the mother to the late Psalms Francis Murungi Kabalangira, and I want to take you through the journey of her life. So before I had Psalms in 1993, I had like 9 years without conceiving. And her late father and I took time to pray so that we get a daughter. In fact, he wanted a daughter, I wanted a boy. And I was the more of a prayer warrior than him. But when it came to us asking God for a child, he seriously took on to reading the book of Psalms. And even he made a pledge before God that if God gives us a girl, that girl will be named Psalms. So on 1st August 1993, it was a Sunday afternoon, I delivered Psalm. It was a natural birth at Mulago Hospital. And she was a very, very healthy, good-looking baby girl. I got very good attention at the hospital, and all went well. So when Psalms was making 4 years, her father, who was suffering from diabetes, passed on. And I was left with the responsibility as a single mother of 3 younger children. So Psalms' health progressed on well until the eve of her 8th birthday. She had malaria and she had convulsions. We took her to Kampala International Hospital, whereby she was also diagnosed with some bacterial infection. She got treatment and we are discharged. We didn't know that that was just the beginning of many years of her illness. Because after 1 week, this very girl got convulsions again, and they were more severe, and they continued. They should be in many hours of convulsing. So we had to go to Mulago Hospital, whereby they took the necessary tests, and the neurotechnician told us that Psalms' convulsions were not epileptic related. So Psalms' health then started going downhill because we were always in and out of hospitals. But at the same time, because she loved going to school, we didn't give up on taking her back to school. Wherever she would have some time of not having convulsions, we would take her to school. There is a time when her younger sister was always the nurse. She would always, though they were in different classes, but she would always be on a standby to see what is happening to Psalms. How can I help Psalms? And by God's grace, Psalms finished her year 10. She did international learning, Cambridge syllabus, she completed. And she was very much eager to continue her education and also do, she wanted to become a lawyer. But she took time to pray because during these times of illness, as most people, we resort to prayer because that is where we find consolation. That is where at times we get unanswered questions answered before God. So Psalms also took time to pray, requesting God to guide her because she very much wanted to be a lawyer. But that didn't happen. One morning she came to me looking very sad. When I asked what had happened, was she feeling any pain? She told me, "No, mommy, I've had a dream and there was somebody telling me that you will not be a lawyer, but you are going to serve in church." So I said, now, here we are, let's make an application at a Bible college. So we made an application at Imbuya School of Theology. She was there for 3 years and she graduated with a diploma in theology. So Psalms, maybe just to bring to your attention, was a trained church minister who briefly worked with the King's College chaplain. She worked as an assistant chaplain, but for a brief moment. And Psalms as well had ambitions as a child. I remember when she was 3 years, she wanted to become the president of Uganda. And then I told her, you are just a little girl. That is a time before she was sick. She was very energetic. She was mischievous. You know, she was a happy, lively girl. And then she used to move with a very close, small friend of hers. Because her sister was very much as an animal lover. She loved kittens, but Psalms didn't have any love for animals. But then Psalms had a small young friend. So Psalms used to move with that younger friend, and that younger friend used to act like her bodyguard, because she already had ambitions to be the president of Uganda, and the president he needs has to have a bodyguard. And then I asked her, how will you become a president? Because I wanted to support all of her ideas. And Psalms told me, you know, I will going to become a rebel. I will go to the bushes and start fighting so that I become also a president. Because she had seen some maybe documentaries and films of people who went and fought and returned as leaders. So that was Psalms' early life. But we moved from hospital to hospital without getting any diagnosis. But after 2 years, at Nsambya Hospital, a pediatric consultant diagnosed her with autoimmune response disorder. That is when you find that the immune system is working, but it is working against the body and the organs and not helping in fighting the diseases. So when she got to that extent, they told us now there is no cure so far. And I was advised the only thing that would help was to find a quiet environment where she would stay and, you know, just live her life in a quiet environment. So we bought land at Buddo, where we are still staying up today. So when we bought land, I was not used to sitting at home. That is when my friends came together and we started what then was called the Community Good Samaritan Community Care Initiative. And one of the things that we are doing is to care for HIV/AIDS sufferers and their children. So during that time, many people were dying from AIDS. And we ended up having like 45 children within our home. But we are doing all that so that I divert my attention not to stay worrying about this daughter and instead using my time at home to stay and care for other underprivileged children, offer them a place to stay and education. In fact, that project was sponsoring around 100 children within the community. So our time with the Psalms at home was not wasted as we nursed her, because at times she would be too weak to go to school. She would be there would have the teachers giving her homeschooling. But at the same time, I was supervising the care and the schooling for 45 children who were staying within the premises, and also another 55 who were outside our home, but being sponsored by the Good Samaritan Community Care Initiative. So Psalms childhood, though it was with pain, but her illness, because of her illness, other children within the community in Buddo benefited, because friends gave in because of Psalms, but that money supported a number of children to have a good childhood and quality education. When she came to adolescence, we were advised by one Dr. Nakwagala Fred, who told us that now, given Sam's condition, because it was a condition which made medics to revise their books over and over again, and he advised us, and in fact he prescribed that Psalms should be stopped, should be put on contraceptive, not to have children until her problem is solved. So when Psalms was in year 11 at international school, that is Hannah International School, there was a chance within the community, a chance that we never planned for. There is a house worker who had a cesarean birth, but she died during the cesarean to deliver her baby twins. So because this house worker didn't have any immediate family who would care for such delicate children, I came in to offer help. And I told them, please, I went to Mulago Hospital, please, I can have these twins for a month or two till the family sorts. It was my family. It was my offer to that family to see that I help them as they sorted out the barriers and then maybe accepting the death of their beloved. But when I came back home that day, I had the baby twins, and Sams was just sleeping in the chair, resting, as it was very common of her to take time to rest. So when I came in with these baby twins, she was very excited. She told me, Mommy, Atlas, before even I gave her the story, these are my babies. Atlas, God has answered my prayers. These are my babies. And then after 2 months, the family, the father of these twins came to me and he told me that, please, Mommy, I don't have anywhere to take the twins because his mother had died 2 months before his girlfriend died. And said, please, Mom, if you can, I'm leaving these twins to you. And then I called him, I said, now, we need to name these twins. And he said, no, let Sam's name the twins. And so that is how the twins came into Sam's life.
My name is Molonji Abigail Catherine Gift. My name is Kirabo Caroline Antoinette. I call her my mother. We are twins. She was hardworking. I used to like her stylish. And her best color best colors were blue, black, and red. She was kind, loving, and she used to be faithful in God. I want them to know that God is with us. I want God to help her to rest in peace as she is in heaven. I know that all bad things happen to people. That's how the world goes. I want God to forgive my mother whatever sin she did in this world, and I know that she's fine in heaven, because when you go to heaven, sicknesses are not there, pain, and everything you do bad, you will not do it in heaven.
She was a big sister. She was a friend, a prayer partner. She was many things. She used to counsel me, and we went through many different ventures together growing up. I knew she was sick, but that wasn't the center of our relationship. She was defined more by her strength, her love for politics and different things than the sickness she had. So we at Hannah Mixed when she fainted in the swimming pool yeah, that was a trying moment for everyone. But I thank God that she went through that, and I was there. I was always there. But those were the few times I saw her down. Because even when she was sick, she was still strong. And she was always into politics. The greatest time I will remember was when I was in primary 2 and she was in 5, and we competed. She was competing for assistant timekeeper. I was the campaigning manager. We took over the school, and it was a great memory. It's good we still have pictures. It was really a great time. And she was like, this is the start. Before we'll be taking over a district, maybe Uganda at large, and then maybe I would be the first African president. So for the greatest time, even when she was sick, there was always that inside her that was always great, and she was able to achieve a lot. I'm stronger now because she was stronger when she was going through hard times. You would never know that she was sick, that she had to take a lot of medicine to survive. She was always, in her weaknesses, she showed strength. And she never used to capitalize like her weakness. She was like, I can do better, I can do better. She wanted to be a mother. And I remember when she got the sad news that it's going to be very impossible for her to have children. Or if she has children, they will have like the genetic of the diseases she used to carry. So she always told me that I want to have a child. And I remember one evening I was at school when she came and told me, you know, I keep on dreaming like ladies asking me to help them. So when she came back after like 2 months, and she's like, do you know what? I got the 2 ladies. Maybe those are the ladies that were coming in my dream to help. I was like, so are you ready to be a mother? And she was, yes, I'm more than ready. I named them. You know, she liked Marie Antoinette. She was like, if I'm the president, I'm going to be like a Marie Antoinette. So one of the twin is Antoinetta. After that, Marie Antoinette. If you are out there and you are going through a given journey, because life is a journey, but some journeys are harder than others' journeys. Some journeys are softer. Some journeys have more hills, more rocks. So if you're going through a given journey, take on the strength. Look at the positive side. And most importantly, love yourself. Cheer up. Love God. Get involved in different activities, because Sams was always onto something. If she wasn't learning the guitar, she was studying, she was reading different books. You know, every time, look forward onto something.
She was my sister, and she was a kind of a different person that till now, ever since she left, she can't be replaced. There's a missing piece that can't be replaced. But what I still cherish about her passion, her kindness, her love for other people, caring for other people, putting her needs aside and caring for others. Some had trying times, but what inspired me about her, whenever she was going through hard times, she would give out a helping hand to help others, putting her pain aside, helping others. That inspired me. The community loved her because she was caring. Even if she was walking somewhere, she found someone in need. Even if she doesn't have any support, she would come talk, counsel, and offer her words of hope that is life, things will get better. The world needs people like her, although they are not easy to find. As of me in my life, there are people you can't find. They cannot be replaced till now. And as a family, she's a person that is missing, and no one can replace her position.
I'm Rwanga Christopher, the head of Ideology, Research and Documentation Department, the head of UPC Ideology School, and the head patron, Mulungushi Club. I'm here to talk about Psalms on the behalf of UPC, and I send warm greetings from the party president, Honorable Jim McKenna, UPC fraternity at Uganda House, the rest of the country, East Africa, Africa, and the greater diaspora. Psalms had a lot of core values, and those core values, it was a question of developing them further and further. However, Psalms getting known to UPC is related to the founding father, and is related to the founding father in the sense that we used to have memorial lectures at Sheraton around October, which could be October 10th, October 11th, October 15th. This is when Psalms attended that memorial lecture, and in a big audience of so many people, Psalms stood up and spoke very elegantly when she was very, very young. Everybody noticed Psalms, and everybody appreciated the family, everybody appreciated the Psalms, and people were saying, when is the Psalms coming to UPC? Time did not take long. Her mom approached me at the party headquarters and said, you are the one I've been told, you teach about the history, you teach about the ideology of the UPC, I'm giving you my daughter. Can you start the job? Giving me such a task is like giving me matoke and chicken and what, especially when I find somebody that is self-motivated. So Psalms uniquely, she was self-motivated, she was focused, and she had the all tappings which can make somebody very successful. First and foremost, the way she was, the sound she had, the level of communication, the level of command of English, the level of gesture were very unique. So for all of the public which used to talk about UPCs of the old people, UPCs of Bazei, UPC does not attract the youth, Psalms totally defeated that feeling. Psalms as an individual has several types of lives. There is a life when he's with young people. There is a life when he's with her people of the same age. There is a life when she's with elderly people. There is a life when she's also a social animal. So it is very, very difficult to know which angle you get her from. But from the way I knew Psalms liked UPC very much, and anything associated with the founding father, it was her act of faith. And Honorable Jim McKenna, being part of the family of the founding father and being an active politician whom we are looking at to pull through with the legacy, they had a very good mix with the Psalms. And at the same time also, Psalms was very artistic in the way of dressing. Every time she was dressing, she was projecting UPC. And it was marvelous to look at Psalms. It has given us a challenge that her shoes were very big. And you cannot say that you can find somebody to fit in them. But at the same time also, she's a symbol whom we try to emulate. One thing you may not know, Psalms could ring you at night just to check on you. She's ringing you at night to check on somebody who is more healthy than her. And you feel embarrassed, you feel humiliated. Then Psalms could come at place of work with her special budget, maybe to eat this and this. But when she sees members yawning, she can cut that budget and says, you people, let us go for snacks. Then at times she can come when she knows that she has to do some family shoppings, and she finds people yawning. Psalms will cheer up the ground. So you cannot have such a benefactor at such a younger age who is making personal sacrifices to make you happy. Mention this, wherever you are in a room, wherever you are working as a team and Psalms is there, be assured that the atmosphere is going to cheer up. You cannot have that immediate replacement. Okay, so her legacy is giving us a challenge to emulate. It is giving us a big challenge to follow in her footsteps. But above all, she was very alert and very intelligent. I remember at one time we did some interviews with her on live UBC TV. and she came out very well, and we received a lot of feedbacks. So you can imagine such a person who can occupy more and more people at the same time. Indeed, it is a great privilege that I had such a very hard-working student who, when we are there and we are doing the work, it is as if we are all at par. If Uganda is to succeed, it has to produce as many psalms as possible. And if we don't have the psalms of this world, don't forget about Uganda succeeding.
My name is Katerega Faith Reynolds. I'm in primary 7. I'm 12 years old. It takes time to learn how she used to manage her responsibilities. And I wish God gives me the talent that she has. Make her soul rest in peace and to forgive her all the sins that she has committed on earth.
I am Reverend Canon Captain Titus Baraka. I live in Mukono. I am Executive Director of a ministry called Words of Hope Ministries in Uganda Christian University. It's a ministry for preaching the gospel through media. And I am so glad I am connected to this home with the Mama Enid, who we got to meet actually last year. I happened to pick a child who was 6 years old from a parish where I was called Namataba, and I started taking care of that baby, and the parents had died, and I brought her up. I adopted her as my own daughter. Until now, she's studied, she has become a lawyer from 6 years, now she's a lawyer. And then last year, there was some funeral. We went and found Mama Enid, and she tried to describe where she comes from. We found that she is actually the true auntie of my daughter. I was so happy. So she shared about what has happened in this family, about death issues that have happened, mysterious deaths, many challenges that have happened in the family. And so she said she wants to organize some prayer so that we can dedicate this family. We thank God for those who forelived, the parents, the great-grandparents who lived, and they did a great job to bring them up to this far. So today we are here to give thanks to God for what who they were in their lives. Secondly, we are here to pray and dedicate the next generation to have a blessed future, and to pray and break other things that probably could have been causes of mysterious deaths. We know that God has power, Christ has power, has overcome. We are able to pray and put a stop to some bondages and some spiritual forces. The daughter was really a very great lady, and unfortunately she got a mysterious death, and she contributed greatly to the family. And just to be able to take off, grief takes a time. And so we want to remember that she has been a significant person in this family, whom she was taken in a mysterious way. We want to thank God for, as young as she was, she contributed greatly, not only to the family, but to the nation at large, in where she was working and in other places. And therefore we are here to thank God and to continue to pray that the Lord will sustain the family.
Before talking about the last chapter, the last years of her life, I, working in Kaliro district as a missionary, though Sams was always sick, she was the person who used to accompany me on my mission work. Though her health was always poor, but she was very much concerned about those underprivileged children, and she was very much concerned as well about their health. So she was always looking out, though she was also in pain, but looking out on how she can improve other people's lives. That is why when she passed on, people contributed condolence money, which we used to set up an admission room at the missionary center where we are working at Kaliro district. But this is Sams. She's a person who lived knowing that she's not going to live the next hour. She's a person, though she knew that her life would be short, she was working very hard to accomplish as much as she could within that short time. And a time came in November. One of the problems she had was diabetes. So this time, she had a hypoglycemia and her brain closed out. We went to Chirudu Hospital, and I just want to appreciate Sams did not die because she wasn't given care. She passed on because her time had come. But when I was at Chirudu Hospital, I got a different, new perspective of what is happening in the government institutions, because everybody did their best to see that our stay there was as comfortable as possible. Just imagine even the cleaners. Just imagine the nurses at ICU. There is one who went for Christmas and he came back with some millet porridge, millet flour for porridge, and he said, I brought this purposely knowing that if I find Sams alive, this is my Christmas gift to her. So everybody cared. I remember the in charge at the private wing, level 6 in Kirudu Hospital. She did her best. I very want even to appreciate the nurses in ICU. I cannot mention even all of them, their names, but everybody was there available wherever I needed them. Not forgetting the in charge then of the ICU department, Dr. Preach Kabata. He, even wherever he had the time, he gave us time, he followed up, even at home, you know, without being paid. So he was there when Sams was passing on. So I'm grateful that God gave me the privilege to be Sam's mother. I'm grateful to everybody who loved Sams, because they loved her even in her death, that they contributed to the improving of a small health center in Kaliro district, which we are now trying to see that at least how government can help so that there are services that are running. We've been talking with the woman member of parliament about that. So her last moments, she passed on peacefully. The doctors told me when her brain was almost gone, they told me, and I saw it was best that she passes her last hour at home. We were all at home. Her sister was there, her brother was not there, but I was there. And more so, when that critical time came, her sister, Frank Kare, called one of the doctors who was in charge of ICU. And by coincidence, he was not very far. He was just on the northern bypass. And he drove to our home. So all I wish is Sam's soul to rest in eternal peace. All I wish for everybody who feels that they are attached to Sam's story, maybe whoever would want to contribute to where her heart was, improving the lives of the community where we worked in Kaliro district. And it is my request, if possible, Hajati Namyaro, at the office of the national chairman, please visit or send somebody not only visiting, but to see, because the health center that we put there is not for the family, but it is the people of the community where Sam's heart was. So we need the office of the national chairman to come in and see how we can do a memorandum of understanding so that the people in that community benefit from the healthy facility that was built in memory of Sam's Francis Mulungi, my late daughter. For people that are going through similar challenges, to call, I'm available, we can make an appointment. My number is 0772 677 036. And as well, I use an Airtel, which is 070 141 7777. In all, we need to come together that we continue with the health facility that was started in memory of Sams to help the community in Namwiwa sub-county, Kaliro district. On behalf of family, on behalf of the Uganda People's Congress, who were by my side during that trying period of treatment, they were not only there in person, but they greatly contributed financially to the time that I was, to the treatment costs that we incurred at Chirudu Hospital, and even in the burial arrangements. And also, on behalf of the family of the late Basigala, the grandchildren of the late Basigala who stood with me in thick and thin during that trying period, even up to now, I just, on behalf as well, let me not forget my daughter, Vicky Jordans, who did her best. She was ready to sacrifice her everything to see that her sister lives. We just want to say that may Sam's soul, may her spirit continue to rest in peace.
Precious memories, unseen angels send.
UBC